Last season, the Houston Rockets were a mess and the laughingstock of the league. Whether it was being tied with the Spurs for second last place in the standings, or Damian Lillard dropping 71 points on their head, the world has been clowning on this team all season, and been clowning on the Rockets really ever since the beard James Harden left. But after a few years of rebuilding, combined with this current offseason, the Houston Rockets are going to be looking scary soon, and they could potentially be scary this upcoming season. With what they got in the draft and the moves they made in free agency, if they can sort out some current issues in the locker room, they could very well make the play-ins this year. Before we go over all the moves the Houston Rockets made this offseason, if you enjoy, please like, subscribe, and again, share this channel around. Also, want to say thank you for all the views on the last video. It's the best video I've uploaded in terms of views and was a great motivator for me to keep doing this. Thank you so much. When looking at everything that the Rockets have done so far this offseason, I think you need to look at these different areas. What they looked like at the end of the season, the draft, and the free agency signings. At the end of the 2022-2023 regular season, the Houston Rockets haven't really looked good at all. They had a pitiful record of 22 wins and 60 losses. The biggest glimpse of hope for this team was that they had the potential to get the first overall pick in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, but that obviously never panned out. But we did see a few positive surprises from this young roster. Alperen Sengun took a huge leap. He is shaping up to be a potential all-star soon. Scoring output of Jalen Green improved a lot. He averaged 22 points last season, and Jabari Smith Jr. had a very promising rookie season. Other than that, there really isn't much else positive to mention. The team was terrible last year. I mean, between the dates of December 27th and March 1st, they won a total of 3 fucking games out of the 29 they played. They were some stinky motherfuckers last season, and coming into the draft, the Houston Rockets had the 4th and 20th pick in the first round. With those selections, the Houston Rockets picked up 2 absolute studs to add to their young and developing roster.
With the 4th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Amen Thompson from Oakland, California, an overtime elite.
Ah yes, one of the Thompson twins, eh? This guy is a certified bucket. He was amazing on the overtime elite City Reapers. He was doing it all there, and he put up some very impressive numbers during his tenure there. He is going to fit nicely in Houston.
With the 20th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Cam Whitmore from Villanova University.
I'm honestly surprised this guy fell all the way down the 20th. This guy is the fucking steal of the draft. He was amazing at Villanova, and most mock drafts I saw had this guy in the top 10 or top 12 at least. No one saw this guy falling all the way down to 20, and the fact that he did still shocks me 2 weeks after the draft. And even just being a couple games into the summer league, Cam Whitmore has been balling so far. Like, how can you not love this guy at the small forward position? He is a deadly scorer, plus he has that pickpocket badge at Hall of Fame already. These are 2 young guys that I'm sure will blossom into great NBA players. And I think that the Houston Rockets, I would give them an A+, honestly, in this draft. They got 2 certified buckets and the steal of the draft. The Rockets organization and fans, I'm sure, are very happy with these picks. Now, on to free agency. This is where things, they get a little dicey here, as I'm sure you know. I know it's meta now to shit on the Rockets' free agency decisions, but you need to stop yourself and ask, what else are you going to do? Teams now need to meet the minimum cap before the fucking season starts. You can't bum out and tank anymore like everyone did last year. You are going to have to splurge in free agency now, and the lower seeded teams with a lot of money need to adjust for that. And seeing that this is the first season where this new rule is being implemented, teams are making decisions that they would previously never do in a million years. For the Houston Rockets, a team with a lot of money they need to spend before the season starts, they decide to go after Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors for $130 million over 3 years. Now, I know, this seems a little backwards considering Fred is coming off a pretty bad year for him. He couldn't shoot for shit, but hold on a minute. Put those pitchforks down and take a minute to assess what the Rockets are doing here. Good old Freddie, that looks like Drakey, is a veteran guard, something that Houston needs to help anchor the young guys. He's an NBA champion. He was a big part of that Raptors championship team. He is an all-star very recently. Overall, for Fred, I mean, yeah, he's a little overpaid, but the Rockets need someone like Fred on their roster, especially at the point guard position. Now, on to the next guy. This decision somehow pisses even more people off, because after last season, everybody wanted this guy to be shipped off to the Shanghai Sharks. And yes, I'm talking about the Rockets adding the professional bear poker himself, Dillon Brooks. He's getting signed to an $86 million sign and trade with an extra $4 million in incentives, potentially being worth $90 million fucking dollars. Look, I get this guy does a bunch of stupid shit, but it's not like the dumbest shit a Grizzly did last year. And it was just dumb trash talk that he couldn't back up. And he looked like the town jester afterwards anyway. I mean, he's like, it's not like Dillon Brooks is a bad player. Like, when I first saw this move, my first thought wasn't this transaction being a meme blowing up on Twitter, but rather I had concern that he would take shots away from the young guys because he chucks up a lot of shots that just don't make it to the basket. But if they can balance a guy like Dillon Brooks, then he could end up being a solid acquisition for the Rockets. But honestly, it's very hard to tell at this point. I don't think I can grade this acquisition until a month or so into the regular season because he can be great, but he can also be a fucking bum, right? Next, we got Jock Landale out of Phoenix getting signed to a 4-year, $30 million deal. This, I think, will be great for the Rockets because they really need the height at 6'11", and with increased minutes and a more active role in the roster, I think Jock could blossom into a pretty good center, especially now that he is entering his athletic prime, and he will be in his prime for at least the next 4 seasons while he's with Houston. I really want this guy to succeed in the NBA. And finally, we are on to the last signing for Houston. Uncle fucking Jeff. That's right. Another champion is joining this young roster. And Jeff Green picked himself up a 2-year, $16 million contract with the Rockets. And I know it's more of a low-key deal, but this is honestly my favorite signing that Houston has made so far. And hear me out. Again, you have that veteran presence to anchor the young guys, along with Freddie. He is still getting highlights at his old, decrepit age, and he is a no BS guy. He helps make your team better. I remember the championship run Denver made, and all throughout, there was Uncle Jeff encouraging the young guys, hyping them up, telling them what they need to do to succeed in the playoffs. He hit a lot of clutch baskets and free throws for those playoffs as well. I absolutely love this move so much. All in all, I do see this team improving significantly this upcoming season. I think the veteran presence is the key here for this team to take the next step. Do I see them making the playoffs? I do, actually. Minimum play-in spot, at best, first round exit. I really like the way this depth chart looks, and I hope they do a lot better next season. And with the Rockets got in the draft plus free agency, I do think they will be a solid team this upcoming season. But that's all for me today. Let me know what you think about the moves the Rockets made in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.